happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome. Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve if you're celebrating. Hi, I'm Meredith. I'm here with our message for the 24th of December, 2025. We're using Earthwoman Tarot for our message today. We have the Sun in Capricorn, the Moon's in Aquarius for now. Later this evening in the 8 o'clock hour, the Moon is going to shift into Pisces, and then we have our retrograde still going. So we have an energy atmosphere reading, tuning into the gifts and blessings of the day, what's on offer to us. And then I decided to throw in a couple more cards for our reading today. We have fortune cookie cards and we have animal spirit cards. Merry Christmas. All right, let's see. Let's start with the main reading. Our first cards. Ooh, we have three of them. I forgot there were three. I shuffled this a while ago. I've been waiting, actually, to do this reading because the driveway is being plowed because we had a lot of snow overnight, and it's very loud out there, and they're still going, and I can't wait. So, anywho, our first card is the Seven of Cups. Spoiled for choice, lots of options on offer. How do we choose? Well, you know what I'm going to say to that, right? Follow your heart. Coming with our Seven of Cups is the Four of Pentacles. Choose in a way that you spend your energy wisely. And then we have, Three of Swords. A little bit of a story evolving there. So perhaps there are some old familiar energies revealing themselves in the now. That seems to be a theme. At least from what I'm hearing from my friends and some of my family and so on. You're all experiencing it in some way. So with the Three of Swords, we're taking a look at pain, loss, and sorrow of the past and how it's influencing our now moment. And, excuse me, here we have the Four of Pentacles with the Seven of Cups. My feeling is in our first three cards, our response to old familiar energies has changed quite a lot. And we have put ourselves in a priority situation. So through experience, we've all given and given and given, and sometimes put ourselves on the bottom of the list, and we've moved ourselves to the top of the list. So it's kind of interesting, on the day before a major holiday, and well, today is considered a holiday as well, we may find ourselves in some old traditional roles. And this is a great opportunity for us to ask ourselves some questions about how attached we are to what we're doing. And across the board, it doesn't have to be holiday related, of course, but across the board, what are you doing in the now that's familiar, that is traditional? And here we come again with that question: does it serve? Is there something you want to change? I know I do. So I'm doing it, which is kind of interesting, though I do fall into this category too, where I have some inclination to do what I've always done, especially in the holiday season. And that's changed forever for me, most especially within this year. So sky's the limit. What are we going to do next? And our next card is Two of Swords. Well, we don't really know. How exciting is that? The unknown. I know some of you cringe. So the Two of Swords is such an interesting card. You know, it's a great card for tuning in and listening to our heart-mind coherence, to be guided by our own hearts. And we have to shut out some of the noise. And some of that noise is coming from the traditional argument of the ego awareness. So here we turn inward and we do listen to our hearts. Though as we turn inward, we're really not sure how this is all going to shake out. Hence, Seven of Cups, potentially Three of Swords, and consecutive cards here, Two of Swords, Three of Swords. And I like the pause here in the Four of Pentacles because it means we're going to take the advice that we saw in Monday's reading, which we started, I believe, with the Hanged Man and ended with the Four of Swords. Both cards about step back, gain a new perspective. And I feel like that's what we're doing here in the Two of Swords. Middle of the reading, we have, Seven of Swords. Gosh, we have the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords in the reading, which make the 10. Which means that we are deferring to our greater wisdom, which is wonderful. Though we do still have a bit of a mental trap in there. Paired with, beautiful, we have the Queen of Cups. I like this because the Queen of Cups is an overcard, definitely, to that Two of Swords. So we are deliberately listening to our intuition by quieting the ego, hopefully through validation and gratitude. And then we have the Queen of Cups herself, which is a message about us following our heart. Thank you, Seven of Cups. And again, listening to our intuition. Next in the lineup, we have, the Tower. Gosh, there are some cringe cards in this reading for sure. That's not a negative thing. This is really indicative of us breaking habits, breaking them down, shaking things up, and making sure that we're not just blindly and unconsciously marching along in our journey in the now moment. I hear putting up with, dealing with. I don't know where that's coming from or who specifically that relates to, because this is a collective reading. So I sense that we're being challenged by towers in our life. And it may be cliche, especially around holiday season. Some people go into it with great enthusiasm and other people kind of go into it with a groan. I was speaking about this with one of my besties very recently, and she had commented when her children were young and she's putting on a holiday meal for, 20 or so people. And she's got 2 toddlers at the time, and she realizes she's running herself ragged to put on this really elaborate holiday celebration for her family, extended family. And in the midst of it all, she's exhausted. Though what she arrived at, and why I'm sharing this, is because in the middle of that exhaustion, she recognized she does this kind of thing all the time, looking after her family and doing all the things, keeping the house, making the meals, and so on at that time in her life. And she realized the only reason she felt exhausted at the holiday was because of the way she was thinking about it. Oh, it's so much work. Oh, there's so many things to do. Oh, the kids need, you know the drill. We've all been there in some way. We can all relate, no matter what your circumstances or situations are. I'm just picking hers because it seemed like it fits in here. So, when she recognized it was her thoughts that were dragging her down, she changed them and it changed everything. And that in itself is a tower moment. That's why I've gone to this length to explain that or share that story here. So follow your heart. Do what's right and true for you, especially in harmony with your intuition. You don't need to have everything be the same because your great granny said or did or whatever. Honor the traditions that fill your heart and welcome new traditions that change everything for you and bring even more joy. That's what I'm sensing here. Okay, next 2 cards. What do we have? 8 of Wands, a swift moving energy, a marriage card in tarot, because it's about how energy gets woven together, how unity forms. Beautiful. And it comes with, 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, another set of consecutive cards here. So you're closer than you realize to a fulfillment you may be unaware of, actually. And it's going to be better than you could have even dreamed up for yourself. So get into heart space, stay in heart space, say yes to things that are happy, effervescent, overflowing. consider saying no to things that are out of date, not current, not in harmony with you and your family, and let those things go. Follow your heart. All right, we're going to move on to the bottom of the deck. How's the universe helping us out behind the scenes? You know, I love when we have readings loaded with aces and all our favorite cup cards. And then we have a reading like this one where we're turning over more of the challenge cards in tarot. I don't really see them as challenge, personally. I see them as invitation to switch things up. So let's take away the word challenge. It's all about your attitude, and just like the story I told you of my friend, how you are thinking of these things, right? So our first card, 5 of Pentacles. And how poignant. So we have 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. Lots of growth here. That's what we're seeing. Loads of growth in these cards. And this is a card about choosing not to settle for less. Don't breadcrumb yourself. In traditional tarot, there are 2 beleaguered looking characters on the card, and they're outside of a sanctuary. And the price of the sanctuary is conformity. So we're shaking up conformity here, which is why we have a tower. Fantastic. Then we have, oh, this is so cool. Look what's happening here. Here's the Hermit. A quest beckons. I love that it's with the 2 of Swords, because in the 2 of Swords, we go inward. We listen to our own heart. We shut out whatever noise and chaos our ego is stirring up. And then we hold the lantern aloft. And in the lantern is the light of the sun. And it's backed over here by the moon. That's so cool. So see things in a new light, from a new perspective. Answer the call of the quest to make change. Make a new family tradition that's in harmony and that's current and true to your now. Be willing to switch that up often. Fantastic. So I mentioned this card earlier, and here it is, Mental Trap, 8 of Swords. You are not really trapped. You're only trapped by the limits of your thinking. And maybe it's not a moment for thinking. It's more a moment for feeling and following, again, the heart energy. So set yourself free from this. It may be a little bit obscure. You know, there's a big full moon behind this person, and the moon brings a very different light. Here in the Hermit, we have a combo of sunlight and moonlight in the card, because the sunlight's in the lantern and the moon is hanging high in the sky there. And here it is again in the 8 of Swords. So there's something that is getting your attention in the now and giving you an opportunity to look at it from a completely different perspective, which we saw in Monday's reading with the Hanged Man. Oh, nice. And now here is the 10 of Swords. Again, defer to your higher wisdom, your soulful presence, because this is a card of fulfillment. It's the Ace of Swords to the power of 10, brilliant clarity, everlasting strength. It's been shown to you, and there may be in 2 of Swords, some level, 3 of Swords especially, resistance to the message, because the message is bringing in something new and fresh, and the ego cringes from that and shrinks from it. So, you know, step up courageously with your own self in your own heart space and blaze a new trail. Speaking of trailblazing, here comes the Page of Wands. Pages are novices, and they are messengers, and they are an opportunity. This page is holding an Ace of Wands. Fantastic, right? That's enthusiasm, motivation, ambition, passion, creativity, fire, yahoo, right? So take a leap of faith and yield to the excitement of the adventure that awaits in that page. Very sweet. All right, we're going to do, before we get to angel answers, we're going to use the new decks. And I dropped some cards on the floor. There are too many, so I'm going to reshuffle. We're going to go with the spirit animal cards. What would these cards most like to share with us today? What messages do they have for us? Okay, we've got 2. And the first is zebra. Hold on. Poor light. Oh, cool. All right. The zebra card message is individuality and uniqueness. And then we have snake, I'll show them to you in a moment, growth and renewal. Well, this is the year of the snake, so that's appropriate. So growth and renewal, individuality and uniqueness. I love that message because that's what's coming up out of these cards. An opportunity to do things differently, to grow, to renew. I like it. Okay, and our fortune cookie card. Same question. What would these cards most like to share with us? All right, and we have very cool manifestations. A bountiful time awaits you. Your wishes could manifest right before your eyes. Of course they could. Be a zebra. Be unique. Share your individuality. Okay, angel answers. Put a question to the deck if you have one. Let the cards confirm the reading. Or be a fresh message. And we have the emphatic success card. No need to worry. Everything works out beautifully. Know that ahead of time. Whatever it is you are attempting to sort, to know, to feel your way through here in your intuition, stop trying and go into the energy of allowing. Go into allowing. Oh, nice. We now have ask your angels if you need guidance, which is another way of tuning into your intuition. The signs will reveal themselves to you. Be assertive. That's the energy of that page. One more card. Peaceful resolution. Gorgeous. Final word on our reading today from angels and ancestors. Oh, cards on the floor again. How is our soulful presence informing our waking consciousness? And we have the arrow. Ground yourself with protective energy. I'm just going to say ground yourself with positive energy. And then you have shield maiden. Make plans and focus. That's what's happening there on the 2 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords would like to be distracting. Get into your self-mastery and that beautiful 10 of Swords. Have a lovely holiday celebration with those you find the most dear in your life. And don't be afraid to shake up your traditions. Peace, love, joy, happiness. Namaste, folks.